Hey guys, Strom Plays Kill Team, George here. I am doing a Kill Team Open 2 retrospective. It's a little late. I was a little busy. Shut up. So I took Heirotek Circle to Kill Team Open 2. I did it as mostly a dare, a little bit of a joke, wanted to see what I could do. I did better than I thought, but about as well as I thought. And Kill Team Open is all Into the Dark, which I knew going in, so I had all the options for Tesla and Gauss and all of the cryptex that I'd want on there. And so I felt pretty confident. I played a lot of the team. I do believe that I play Heirotek Circle about as well as they can be played, period. I feel very comfortable saying that. So, I'll get into it. Kill Team Open, it was 8 rounds over 2 days, 4 and 4. The first 4 rounds in day 1 put you into pods for day 2. So the better you did on day 1, the higher up you were ranked, and the better pod you were in. And the number 1 player in pod 1 is the overall winner of the tournament. And then if you won your pod, you got, some prize for winning your pod. Cool. I think that's the best way to run a tournament. It keeps everyone engaged. It was a great time. So, round 1, game 1 was against Nurgle Legionaries. This game was probably the worst I could have hoped for, essentially. Heirotek don't really have answers to Nurgle Legionaries other than just be way better than your opponent. And I was not way better than my opponent. It probably didn't help that this was... I was going into Kill Team Open having played 3 Into the Dark games, period. So round 1, day 1, was my 4th ever Into the Dark game. So I wasn't great. I still didn't understand doors yet. I knew about doors, but I didn't really get doors. So I made mistakes. Not to downplay my opponent's ability. He was a good player. And I made mistakes. Not a good combination. So, I don't remember. He took Nurgle Legionaries. Heavy weapon, plasma gun, chosen, maybe the champ. Anointed. He took Nurgle Legionaries. And I took all Gauss. I took all Tesla carbines on my Immortals. No Deathmark, 5 Immortals, and I believe I took the Psychomancer. No, I took the Chronomancer with the Meltastave. And I just got smoked. Again, didn't really understand doors. My opponent did understand doors, so I lost 2 models to plasma guns pretty quickly, and then more models to plasma guns very shortly after. It was bad. It just got smoked. So I lost that game. Lost that game pretty hard. No, I had 12 points to max, maybe 10. So I lost, but not super hard. Game 2 on day 1 was against George Chapter, one of the Brooklyn Rats. He was playing Breachers. Great game, great fellow to play against. He took Plasma Gun Melta and then, Breacher stuff. He took the no cat, but he did take the skull. Which he did get the skull off, and shocked at how much damage that skull can do to 10 wound models with 3-up saves. Just, whew. I took the Chronomancer with the Melta weapon again. No reason to give him extra rerolls on Blast. I think that was a mistake. I should have taken the Blast weapon for the stun. You live, you learn. I had a great turn 1. he made a mistake. He opened up a door he shouldn't have. He tried to set up a skull play a bit early, and I capitalized on that by dropping a nanomine inside that room, shutting down that flank from leaving the room, and blamming an important model. And the words, "I think I just lost," came out of his mouth. Joke's on him. He was playing into Heirotek, because he never played the team before. So by turn 2, when most of his team was a door away from me, and granted I was pretty in a strong position at that point, I believe George won initiative turn 3, dropped his hatch cutter into my teeth, and that lost me the game more or less. There's a theme about that. We'll get into it later. So, great game. I did slightly worse against Breachers and Nurgle Legion. I think I only ended that... No, maybe better. I think I ended that game with 12 points to his max. Also a theme, you'll see. Game 3, day 1, was against an Intercession player. Also, wonderful player. He was a little newer at the game. I ended up taking all Gauss blasters because durable makes Tesla carbines. Oh, I'm sorry. Into Breachers, I took all Tesla carbines. Even though splash doesn't affect anyone else, it's still more damage to the target than a Gauss blaster would be. Intercession, you take all Gauss blasters because durable makes Tesla carbines worse than Gauss blasters into Intercession. So I took all... I did end up taking a death mark into, I think, this game. And so I had death mark for Gauss blasters. And then my Cryptek was... I think my Technomancer. The Cryptek was a Technomancer. And this was a pretty good game. We had good back and forth. He probably wasn't aggressive enough. He did end up winning, of course. I think it was like a 5-point difference, maybe less. It would really helped him, and this happens to me a lot. Literally every single attack I did was 2 hits, including the gun that has 6 dice. And against Intercession, that doesn't cut it. I didn't kill shit. Oh yeah, the 2 shooting attacks I got more than 2 hits on were 3 hits. So I didn't kill anything. And maybe I think I killed 1 Intercession. So yeah, he just steamrolled over me. If he was more aggressive, he could have won harder. But like, yeah, what do you do? I got diced. My final game on day 1 was against Corsairs, against a personal friend of mine. And she hadn't played Kill Team since like Christmas, maybe a little earlier. Good on her for coming out to Kill Team Open. I'm really glad she did. I had a great time hanging out with her. And she was playing Corsairs, so I took all Tesla carbines. I took the death mark, and this is the game where I figured out the stupid unearthed forward deploy combo, where in Into the Dark, if you use a forward deploy strategic ploy or tactical ploy, instead of forward deploying, you get a free move, and you can open a door along the move. The unearthed tactical or tac op for Heirotek is put a token outside 6 inches of your deployment zone. And so doing that, combining with the 6-inch move from Intractable March with the forward deploy move, puts you within control distance of that token, and it is a 2 action point action to unearth it to start scoring it. Normally you can't score it turn 1. And Into the Dark, you can score it just fine on turn 1. It took me a few games to figure that out. Again, this was this 8th game of Into the Dark I'd ever played. That's about when I start figuring things out, around game 8. So, yeah, that tracks. I won that game against Corsairs. My opponent wasn't aggressive enough. She did not... so Corsairs are basically a power weapon delivery system, and she did not deliver power weapons to my face, and so I was able to shoot her off the board. Because Heirotek are not good in melee. That's kind of their thing. So I ended day 1, 3 losses, 1 win. That puts me in the second to worst pod. Not the worst, though. Not the worst. With the worst team in the game. There were 3 Heirotek players at Kill Team Open, which I can't believe 2 other people were crazy enough to take Heirotek. 2 of them ended with 1 win. 1 of them ended with 0 wins. And so we were all on the bottom, of course. So, day 2. Day 2 started with me, game 1, playing the intercession team that I lost to on day 1. Fine. I got this. I just need to roll more than 2 hits on each shooting attack. So I took the same thing. I actually took a death mark, did the whole free victory points for my tac op thing, and all Gauss Blasters, Technomancer. I didn't even change up the list, really, because I didn't need to. I just need to not suck. And I didn't suck. I had statistically average rolling, like not even crazy good, just statistically average. And as it turns out, when you roll statistically average, Heirotek Gauss Blasters hurt and kill intercessors. It's wild. It's crazy. So I won that game. So yeah, game 1, day 2, fantastic. Game 2 on day 2, Jesus Christ, all these numbers. I don't know how to number. I only play Kill Team. So game 2 on day 2 was against Talons of the Emperor. And he ended up going all Custodies. And I went with all Tesla carbines. Yes, kitten, yes. I know. So he went with 4 Custodies instead of Sisters and Stodes. I think that was definitely the wrong choice. I know. I think that was definitely the wrong choice. But he was in it to have fun. He wasn't in it to win it necessarily. But that was a really fun game. My favorite moment in that game was I threw my Despotech and another Immortal at a Custodes hiding on conceal behind a door. What? Meow. I'm doing something. So I threw my Immortal and a Despotech at a Custodes hiding behind a door within splash range, because I need to get within splash range so he doesn't have cover to shoot him. And over the course of 3 shooting attacks, I killed that Custodes, and I must have done a combined of like 10 mortal wounds to myself over between the 2 operatives. Whatever, don't care, I heal every turn. And it was great. Killed him, and then eventually they healed up. Eventually they did get double charged and murderized. But whatever. They did their job. I won that game. I won that game pretty convincingly. And of course I took the death mark and the free victory points from Unearth. Game 3 on day 3 was against a Nurgle Legionary player. And this is when I learned that even when you're having a great game with Heirotek into Nurgle Legionary, your biggest answer to Nurgle Legionary is, I lose. That's what it is. I started this game, I killed his Balefire Acolyte, I killed his Plasma Gun by turn 2. I was riding high. Didn't take many losses. Then his anointed touched me, and my team fell down. Whole team lost. One model. I lost that game. Maybe, I think I ended the game with 12 points. Yeah, I lost. It was not a crazy big lose, but it was a loss. Yeah, that was... Heirotek cannot do melee. I took Gauss Blasters in that game instead of Tesla Carbines because I learned from my first matchup into Nurgle Legionary. So I was doing much better until his Anointed hit me and the team folds. What are you going to do? My last game on day 2 was against a Pathfinders player. And to be generous to my opponent, he was running on fumes. By game 8, so I'm going to say allegedly, I'm one of those people where by game 8, I'm playing better than game 1 or 2. I get into my groove, I'm getting it, every game is better than the last. I have heard a tale that people get gassed by game 8. They're just like... And I hear that that's pretty common. And boy, I can imagine playing Pathfinders for 8 rounds just makes your brain smooth out. So many things to think about and keep track of. So I took Deathmark, did my free Earth tactical ploy, victory points, you just got to do it at this point. 4 Tesla Carbines, and I took the Psychomancer. Because Blast Splash with Lethal 5-up, AP2, it just kills Pathfinders. That's no big deal. And that was a pretty convincing game. I did not kill less than 2 Pathfinders every shooting attack, turn 1 and turn 2. It did not happen. It was also the only game that I took the extra inch splash range equipment, which over 8 rounds of Into the Dark, you'd think I would have, but fully half my games I was using Gauss Blasters, and the other ones, it was Breachers, where Splash doesn't affect anyone else but the target, so that's useless. Talons, where I don't need bigger Splash, because it's Talons. And then the Corsairs are power weapon delivery systems, so I opted to take Lethal 5-up on my melee, for when they delivered their power weapons to my face, I would have the ability to maybe salvage that and clap back or parry away so I could live. So this was the only game out of 8 rounds of Into the Dark I took the increased range in splash damage. Feels weird, but fine. And so I won that one pretty convincingly. I think my opponent scored less than 10 points total. And there were Necrons in his backfield, which was the only time that happened all game. So that was how my Kill Team Open run went. Day 1 was real rough, and day 2 was pretty good. I ended 50% win rate, 4 wins, 4 losses. I was the best Heirotek player in the room, with the most wins. I feel very comfortable saying I'm definitely playing the team as well as they can be played. And I might be the best Heirotek player in the US. Not that that matters. Woo. I had a great time. Everyone at Kill Team Open, especially, I talked to Glass a lot, I talked to Glass a bit. I didn't really talk to anyone a lot. Spent most of the time playing Kill Team. Glass is a great guy. We talked Heirotek. Turns out this guy plays Heirotek too. Who would have known? I spoke with the organizer, the head TO. Great time, great people, and it was a fantastic time. I do not regret taking Heirotek Circle to this event, but I did learn something very important. Do not take a joke team to a big tournament. I had a good time, but I know I would have had a better time if I had taken a real team and got up to a table I should have got up to, rather than go down to a table that the team, like, tops out at. I would have had more fun. I would have been able to talk to more people around the same skill level. Again, I don't regret taking Heirotek Circle, but don't take a joke team to a big tournament. If you're taking Heirotek because that's the one team you own, that's the one team you practice on, that's the one team you play, sure. I apologize. That sucks, because the team is currently very bad. Hopefully, March it changes. But, objectively, the team doesn't get past second to worst pod. It objectively doesn't. It is what it is. Hopefully March changes that with a new balance slate. But yeah, that was my Kill Team Open experience. Great time. Oh, the tikka masala that Ryan made, so good. So good. Food was fantastic. So just a bit of housekeeping at the end of the video. My Heirotek Circle video should be out end of March, or mid-May. Depends on how crazy the balance data slate is for that team, because it should be end of March-ish. We get it. So unless they add a whole nother, Immortal, and they make the Apprentec not terrible, we'll see. But it should be late March, early April when that video comes out. And I hope everyone gets to enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hearing about how I was an idiot and took Heirotek Circle to one of the biggest U.S. tournaments for Kill Team ever. Great. Have a good day. Take it easy. Just don't roll like trash like I do.